Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
A female was brought before the magistrate's court on charges of murder and armed robbery. That and more tonight on our news.
Bahamas Christian Council President Dr. Ranford Patterson says he prefers the country's constitution to remain the same. Details straight ahead on our news.
And plans to raise the cost of electricity. Welcome to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, nearly a week after ZNS radio personality Scott Richards was found shot to death, a woman was charged with his murder today. Giorgio Bain reports.
Kyle, last Thursday, the body of Scott Richards, an employee at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, was discovered with gunshot wounds at Bonefish Pond. Today, a 30-year-old woman was charged in connection with his murder. Richards' loved ones gathered outside the magistrate's court this afternoon and chanted justice for Scotty as 30-year-old Raquel Ganja Baby Johnson was escorted inside. The Plantal Street resident charged with murder and armed robbery. It is alleged that on May 26, by means of unlawful harm, Johnson did intentionally cause the death of Richards. Johnson is also accused of robbing Richards of an iPhone 3 valued at $300, according to police records. Officers of the Carmichael Road Police Station were on patrol when they noticed an empty gray Dodge Durango around 9:55 on the morning of May 26. Officers searched the area when they discovered Richards' body 100 feet from the Jeep. ZNS News employees wept on the crime scene as the 48-year-old radio announcer's body was removed from the area. Johnson was not required to enter a plea. She returns to court on June 27th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Stirrup.
In other news, President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Ranford Patterson, is rejecting question 4 on the June 7th referendum and says he's not even sure how he feels about questions 1 through 3. Patterson asserted that he shares the same sentiments as former Chief Justice Dame Joan Sawyer, who previously deemed the referendum a waste of time. Simone Davis tells us more.
I prefer my constitution to remain the same. From 1973 to present, we had no challenge to it.
Patterson says he plans to vote no to bill number 4. And as for the other 3 bills, well, he's still praying on them. Patterson says he's rejecting Bill 4, which would make it unconstitutional to discriminate against someone based on sex because the Constitution already provides for protection against discrimination in Article 26. He said adding the word sex scares him. When asked if he fears the bill would lead to same-sex marriage, Patterson said his concerns are much deeper than that.
When we add sex in this line of attributes, we are literally taking away from the individual identity. In other words, you cannot discriminate on a person based on their sex. In other words, if someone is a man, you cannot tell this man that he can't come to work for me dressed up in a dress, because it'll be discrimination based on Article 26. That's what I gathered from what people told me in this article, what I studied, what I learned from this article, and it scares the hell out of me.
Last month, former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer said she believes the gender equality referendum is a waste of time because the Constitution already addresses those issues. Patterson said he agrees with Dame Joan, asserting that the issues the government intends to address with this referendum could be dealt with in Parliament instead.
I am convinced that some of the things that they are dealing with presently in this referendum can be dealt with in the House of Assembly. My fear is if we add sex in Article 26, there's no need for the Parliament to ever come back to the Bahamian people to do anything as relates to marriage. They could change it at 12 midnight or at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we have no control over it.
The Christian Council president also had these recommendations for the Constitutional Commission.
Please give the Bahamian people the pros and the cons of the changes that you think we as a people need to make. There are always pros and cons to every situation. Every situation. Tell the Bahamian people on June 8 what would be expected of them if the yes vote wins or if the no vote wins.
Patterson also requested that the Constitutional Commission present the Bahamian people with amendments that they are crying for instead of what the Commission feels is necessary. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, thousands of law enforcement and public service employees took part in the advanced poll of the constitutional referendum today. Our news was there bright and early this morning at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, where some lined up early to cast their vote. Noticeably absent, though, was a team from the Vote No camp, but those supporting a yes vote were there in full force.
I see, there's a steady flow of voters coming out, which means that the Bahamian people are engaged. They're excited. I think everyone understands the importance of what is trying to be accomplished here. So I'm quite excited. Optimistic is the better word, I think.
We're happy that we're all together. I've had a chance to speak with a number of PLP MPs that have voted today and FNM MPs that voted, and they all told me that they're voting yes for it. So we hope that carries throughout the country, and at the end of the day, the 4 bills are successful.
In addition to pushing for a yes vote, we educated the Bahamian people. We went to any group and every group that would have us to explain the 4 bills, and so we feel very comfortable that we have done from what we should have done and laid the foundation for persons to make that informed vote.
While the Prime Minister nor the opposition leader chose to take part in today's vote, several parliamentarians seized the opportunity. State Minister for National Security Keith Bell said despite the fears of the ramifications of a yes vote to question 4, he's confident Bahamians will vote yes.
I think that it will definitely not translate in all 4 being rejected. As a matter of fact, I think that every right-thinking Bahamian will know to vote yes on all 4 of the bills. I'm confident in it.
I think there has been very aggressive as far as the campaign is concerned. I listened to both sides of it, and at the end of the day, the results will be what they are. I think the government has pushed the yes vote campaign. I think as far as I'm aware, I've listened to the ads, I've listened to various people, and so far it's good. It's relatively slow here right now. But I guess people will come out during their lunch hours or whatever, and then probably we'll see what happens.
With varying views in the public domain surrounding the 4 questions on the ballot, Police Staff Association Chairman Dwight Smith shared his concerns.
This is something of a constitutional change. We are not to that point yet as a people, or maybe just as a government, that police has equal right to have views or have conversation as relates to such important bills that will decide our future. I have 6. I have 3 girls and 2 boys. So don't I have a say also in these sort of things?
Some voters also went to the polls today in Grand Bahama. Bakisha Parker Edgecombe has that.
Voting in the advance poll for the referendum on gender equality got off to a slow start on Grand Bahama, with the Police Training College serving as the central location for all ballots to be cast.
We were on the road from 4 a.m. this morning, making sure the ballot boxes were adequately packed and stacked.
The advance poll of some 671 individuals allows members of the military branches and poll workers an opportunity to vote prior to the June 7th referendum, allowing them to carry out their duties on that day. Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Reno Smith.
Of that 671, we have some 200 persons from the Pine Ridge constituency who will be casting their ballots. In addition to that, we have some 14 persons who submitted their documents in time to vote in the advance poll because of medical reasons or they're traveling abroad. 12 of them are traveling abroad on business, whatever have you, and 2 specifically are traveling for medical purposes.
While the events leading up to the referendum have generated heated debates throughout the country, Smith encouraged those able to cast their vote in this historic referendum not to take the responsibility for it granted.
Many of us were not even born in 1973, and we definitely didn't have our no input in the initial document. Here we are today. We have a chance to amend or leave as the status quo, and so I'm one of those who are here this morning, and I will be doing this for my country and my family.
With the advance poll now over, all efforts are focused on ensuring a smooth process for June 7th, in which more than 30,000 people on Grand Bahama are expected to participate. Reporting for our news from Grand Bahama, I'm Bakisha Parker Edgecombe.
In other news, executives of Bahamas Power and Light met with the Christie administration today amid reports that the company is pushing to raise electricity rates. In a letter to BPL customers, CEO Pamela Hill revealed that the company has developed an improved rate structure in order to fund BPL's investments in equipment and personnel. Sources say rates could increase by as much as 12 to 15%. According to the letter, BPL has decreased the residential base rate portion for up to 200 kilowatt hours used per month, while customers using more than 400 kilowatt hours would see a moderate increase in the base rate. BPL officials were tight-lipped as they left Cabinet office this afternoon.
Jason, how are you? All is well? Can I have a brief word with you, 1 quick minute?
I don't know, about what?
About things that are happening at
I can't speak on behalf of them.
The minister responsible for BEC, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, wasn't in a talking mood either.
Hi, Mr. Davis, Mr. DPN. Just wanted to know if the Cabinet approved the price hike for BPL, is it?
No, that's not a matter.
We saw the executives upstairs just now. We just wanted to know the result of that meeting.
Yeah.
Have you seen BPL's business plan?
No comment.
So nothing new about power securities?
Still to come, the crisis center addresses gender-based violence. Stay tuned.